Welcome to Report Vikings, your daily Minnesota Vikings news channel. Today, we bring you two pieces of news that are shaking up the NFL world and could directly impact the future of the Vikings. If you are a true fan and want to stay up to date with all the news and analysis, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Oh, turn on notifications so you don't miss any details about your favorite team. Now let's go to the first news. Vikings weigh bold move for Lions star Amon-Ra St. Brown, heat up NFC North backstage. The Minnesota Vikings are eyeing one of the most explosive players in the division, and perhaps the entire NFL. According to sources close to the organization, the name of Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, has gained traction behind the scenes at the TCO Performance Center as a potential priority target to bolster the attack led by Kevin O'Connell and boost the rise of quarterback J.J. McCarthy. While the mere idea of attempting a trade within the NFC North seems unthinkable, the financial realities and competitive landscape could open up loopholes. Amon-Ra, who recently signed a 4-year, $120 million contract extension, has performed well for the investment. 119 receptions, 1,015 yards, and 10 touchdowns in 2024, according to official NFL data. Still, in exploratory behind-the-scenes conversations, the Vikings have been considering a major move if the Lions struggle to balance their payroll, already overburdened after the extensions of Jared Goff, Penei Sewell, and Aiden Hutchinson. In theory, Minnesota's front office, St. Brown is seen as the kind of sick competitor who fits perfectly into the culture created by O'Connell and GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. Sources close to the team reveal that the player is admired not only for his production on the field, but for his obsessive behavior in training, emotional resilience, and revenge mentality, traits often associated with great offensive leaders in the NFL. A 2023 interview in which the wide receiver named every receiver taken ahead of him in the 2021 draft by heart still circulates in Eden Prairie video rooms as a symbol of the competitive intensity he represents. For the Vikings offense, Amon-Ra would be an ideal fit alongside Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, forming a virtually unguardable trio in 11-man formations. Jefferson is still the focus of double coverage. Addison, meanwhile, flourished as a vertical threat. Amon-Ra's presence in the slot, when or moving pre-snap as he often does in Detroit, could turn Minnesota into an offensive powerhouse similar to the 49ers or Bengals in their prime. But the equation is not simple. St. Brown's recent contract extension prevents him from being traded before June 1, 2025, without heavy consequences to the Lions' salary cap. Additionally, the trade would require a considerable return, at the very least a first-round pick and additional assets, perhaps even an impact defensive player. All this considering the most delicate factor, the rivalry between Vikings and Lions, which has intensified in recent years with the simultaneous rise of both franchises. NFL history shows how intra-division trades are rare and often traumatic. In 2020, the Patriots sent tight end Rob Gronkowski to the Buccaneers, but it was a forced retirement exit. Back in 2008, Brett Favre was banned by the Packers from going straight to Minnesota, being diverted to the Jets. 2 years later, the story was complete with Favre wearing purple, a wound still raw in Green Bay. In Minnesota, however, the IUS, current thinking is pragmatic. The title window is open as long as McCarthy is under his rookie contract, and now is the time to build the strongest roster possible. If that means knocking on the door of a division rival, so be it. Adolfo-Mensah's aggressive philosophy has already been clear in his offseason moves, with nearly $300 million invested in reinforcements. Adding Amon-Ra St. Brown to that group would transform the Vikings from promising prospects into a legitimate threat to the NFC throne. For now, everything is in the realm of soundings and possibilities. But the simple fact that St. Brown's name is circulating in the Vikings' internal meetings is symptomatic. And, as the NFL has shown time and time again, today's improbable event can be tomorrow's season-ending blow. Minnesota Vikings eye Ja'Marr Chase for 2026. Dream of historic reunion with Justin Jefferson. The Minnesota Vikings have ambitious plans for the future, and they involve one of the NFL's hottest names, Ja'Marr Chase. According to sources close to the Vikings front office, the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver has been monitored with increasing attention, with the Minnesota front office already projecting possible scenarios for the 2026 offseason when Chase's contract situation promises to come into focus. While the idea of a trade with the Bengals in the short term seems unlikely, especially with Joe Burrow healthy and as Cincinnati's franchise quarterback, the Vikings are eyeing what could become one of the league's biggest soap operas. Chase, the fifth-round pick in the 2021 draft, enters the fifth year of his rookie contract in 2025, and there is still no agreement on an extension. If this impasse continues, Minnesota intends to be ready. The stated goal internally? Reuniting Chase with his former LSU teammate Justin Jefferson, forming what many analysts are already calling possibly the best wide receiver duo of the modern era. The two were partners in the Tigers' historic 2019 season under Joe Burrow and then offensive coordinator Joe Brady, winning the national title with more than 300 combined yards and 38 touchdowns in that campaign alone. At the TCO Performance Center, this college past, combined with the individual talent of both, fuels a long-term project that could transform the Vikings' offense into one of the most feared in the NFL. Jefferson is already guaranteed for many years after his massive renewal in 2025, and quarterback J.J. McCarthy, a first-round pick in this last draft, gives the team an ideal competitive window under a rookie contract. The financial equation, therefore, would allow for boldness. Chase is currently under contract with the Bengals through the end of the 2025 season, having exercised his fifth-year option in April, with an estimated $21.8 million guaranteed. Still, NFL chatter suggests Chase could push for a $30 million a year extension, which would put Cincinnati in a quandary. With Joe Burrow already earning $275 million, T. Higgins under the franchise tag, and offensive line reinforcements demanding capital, Zach Taylor's team could struggle to keep its offensive core intact. If there's any sign the Bengals are hesitant to pay Chase as the league's clear WR1, the Vikings should be the first to call. An executive from another NFC team told Pro Football Talk on condition of anonymity. From Minnesota's perspective, Chase's potential arrival would represent more than just a technical boost. It would be a statement of ambition and vision. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the general manager known for his aggressive and analytical approach, has already shown a willingness to invest heavily in elite talent. This year, the Vikings have already secured key players such as edge rusher Jonathan Greenard, running back Aaron Jones, and McCarthy himself, not to mention the constant search for depth in the receiving core and offensive line. The idea of having Jefferson and Chase playing alongside each other, both still in their physical prime, would have profound impacts on the entire structure of the NFC. Opposing teams would have to completely rethink their defensive systems to contain two WRs with the ability to dominate all areas of the field. And that's not to mention the marketing. A reunion of the former LSU Tigers would have national appeal, rekindling memories of that historic college football campaign. Even though a trade seems far-fetched today, the NFL has proven that no scenario is out of the question. In 2022, Tyreek Hill was unexpectedly traded to the Dolphins after weeks of public denial by the Chiefs. The following year, Davante Adams left Green Bay in a turnaround that seemed unthinkable just weeks before. As for Chase, everything will depend on how the talks with Cincinnati evolve over the next few months. If there is any friction in the negotiations, the Vikings will be ready and willing to act. For now, the plan remains on the back burner, but very much alive. And if it comes to fruition, Jefferson and Chase, reunited in purple and gold, could not only rewrite the Vikings' history, but also change the balance of power in the NFL for years to come.